Hi everyone. How's that working? Should be live. Well, it's been live for a bit, but you know what I mean. There are questions. There are questions. We'll do an audio test to make sure everyone can hear me fine and make sure everything is hunky dory with the game and everything first before we start going through everything, because there's lots of questions. There's no doubt there's a lot of stuff going on, which is great. Let's get a bit of audio in from the game there as well. Ahoy! We'll drop that down a little bit. How are we all doing? Well, loud and clear. That's fine. That's what we want. I'm using a different mic this time, so I just need to make sure that that's all fine. But if there's any issues, just let me know. It's all coming through clean and fine on my end. Okay, safety valves are a good test. Right. I've just found a setting which is really cool. That's right. I need to stop getting distracted. Let's unmute you and unmute you. I'm going to do that. And then we can do dedicated things. Right, so, yeah. Bit of a big day then, really. So, we had the store go out midday, which was really interesting. And I've just been worried ever since. So, that's good. We've not had many or any reports actually of any issues that have popped up. So that is what we want. I've got a couple of plans for tonight. For now, we're just going on test track because we're just going to go over a couple of bits and bobs. Because I've noticed a couple of things that popped up in what people have been saying, and we can kind of go through it a bit more of a tutorial, if you will, go through some of the controls and talk about a couple of aspects, and then we've got some pretty fun lined up afterwards, which is a bit of a race with an AI train, which is for fun because fun is how I roll. So we've got okay, audio's all good. That's what we want. But do you plan on making line in the future? As I believe that's a Loco on your PFP. You have to explain. I'm a bit uncultured with slang. PFP. So line's a tricky one because obviously we know one that's already been made and it is with someone, and I can't speak for that person, so I don't know where that stays. I don't know the status of that project. And our friend Awine at Pembrokeshire Works has a version of Lion which is before the 1920s. Profile picture, the logo. Ah, right. Thanks, Jimmy. So the logo in the new logo is Planet, Stevenson's Planet. The choice was what logo do you want, and that is just my all-time favourite logo. The one does exist in game. We do have one. It was part of our 1800 pack that we were working on. And I have to say working because it's not technically in development anymore. We've kind of we've paused it. We haven't put a lid on it because there's a lot of issues when it came to that sort of simulation, and it's very difficult to explain and go into the nuances of how early Stevenson's work and stuff like that. It's complicated. It is a complicated one. So for now, that's kind of just like on the back burner, if that's the right way of saying it. It's not in development, but it's not out of development. We occasionally do boot it up and have a look, so can't promise it on that. But it is, early stuff is an interest. We've always wanted to do early stuff. But going back to Lion, that's a difficult one because I know two different people have two different versions of the logo, so that's kind of not where I see things going forward. But there is a loco which is nearing completion, which follows a very similar wheel profile of Lion. So that's an interesting one that will come out soon. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the 7F. So there is a bit of a self-fulfilling promise that I need to do. which is I need to open the bottle and pour myself a gin, because today's a big day. Oh, I'd say that's about a double's worth. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. Someone will pick me up off the floor after. I hope. It's probably not the best idea pouring this over my desk, to be honest. But you know, when in Rome, as they say. Good pour, my lord. Lovely. Mm-hmm. Cheers, everyone. That's rude. Now I wanted. Well, Jimmy, you can go and get a gin. You're an adult as well. This is the weird thing that I've talked about. This is like a bit of a side tangent, but this is the thing that I've spoken about to Jimmy before, where there's like there's a boundary break, and you suddenly become aware that you're an adult as you're growing up, and you feel like there's these sort of forbidden fruits of life that you can't touch or shouldn't touch, and when you reach that certain age, you can just realize that you can go and do stuff, and it's just bizarre, and it's the most mundane of things. I remember there was a particular day at university where I really fancied a cake, so I just went into Tesco and bought a birthday cake, and I just bit into it like it was a biscuit, and I was like, right, I can take that off my bucket list now. It's a weird thing. Anyway, I'll go off on the side tangent now. But so the main thing is I just want to make sure that everyone knows like what's slightly different with the 7F. There's a couple of things that people are pointing out, which is really interesting to see what's been done with other locos. I do keep track on what other developers are doing with locos and like inputs, controls, things like that. These safety valves are doing like nothing. I'm going to. If it's too loud, just let me know. And I've always sort of not aspired, but I've always looked at what like Mesh Tools was doing, and I always like the idea of a little nuance to the Loco, a little bit of character, rather than rewrite all the control mappings and stuff like that. So I understand how some people fall into familiarity with what the fingers are doing and keybinds and things like that. So one of the things that people have always pointed out, and that is the brake handle. So the brake on the 7F is actually back to front. So off is on and on is off. And that primarily is just to match the direction of the control handle. I thought, because what we talked about in the brake short was having the advanced braking system that we went with. I wanted it to be a bit more intuitive visually, knowing that we're walking around the cab. So, you drag the control the right way, and then the keyboard sort of follows that. So it was more of like a little nuance thing. It's not there deliberately to try and trip somebody up or anything like that. Let's just quickly deal with the Steam settings that I forgot to turn off. We were playing a game over the weekend and I turned it back on. In game, enable the Steam override. Let's disable that. Thank you very much. I think I literally did this last stream as well, but that's fine. And so that's one of the reasons why the brakes is like that. So I know a couple of people have gone, oh my god, the brakes are not working, the brakes are broken. No, it's back to front for a reason. It's not a bug. It's a feature, I think you can go and say. So the ejectors are another thing as well. So just be mindful that you do have the large ejector there, which will reduce, is a rapid sort of vacuum system, and then you have the small ejector there. So once you take the brake off, you'll notice that the brakes are in the apply position, and you can just knock the small ejector open and keep that, vacuum going. So it's a massive step ahead of what we did with the box. Well, anything's a step with the box. You get a piece of cardboard in front of what was on the box. It's that old. Half the features are not on it. It didn't have a blower, but it's ahead of what's on the Y6, for example. Even though it's a slightly different braking system. Rule 1 row is kind of how like the regulator for the Mesh Tool Super D was backwards. Yeah, exactly that. It's it's nothing. It's not there as a statement piece or anything like that. It's just a bit of fun and a bit of nuance. And I know some people have said, well, why haven't you extended that to the regulator for some example? I feel like you can learn. You can learn the brakes, and you can get familiar with that. And at the end of the day, stopping is a little easier than going in some regards, especially if you're already going. The last thing you want to get caught up in is, you've opened the regulator when you wanted to shut it and stuff like that. So I felt it was a more appropriate one to do it with rather than the brakes. But you can either like it or you don't, and I get that. But we'll see what people are saying. At the moment, no one's actually said anything. Port box, we like to show diesels. I've given them suggestions what we could do. Yeah, true. Seeing the amount of features on the 7F or your videos posted is definitely bringing something new to the tabling side. Do you think you would ever attempt a diesel engine too? Yeah, like Jimmy says, we have had conversations. We have conversations all the time, especially me and Forerunner as well. And all three of us in extension. I've never ruled it out. It's just dependent on which direction we want to go with it. It feels somewhat counterintuitive at this stage to have spent so much time on a Steam simulation, then to abandon it at the first hurdle, or pause it rather at the first hurdle, and then jump to a diesel. I feel like there is room for improvement here first before we sort of get tired of what we've got, or people get tired of what we can sort of offer. So at the moment there's no, I'm not going to rule anything out, but at the moment there's no interest. We've talked about probably industrial, mechanical, that sort of era diesels. That's totally fine. I think there's probably wiggle room in there, but nothing as yet. Would you do narrow gauge? Oh, that's interesting. Right. Yeah, we've thought about narrow gauge. We thought about narrow gauge a lot. Expect any plans for a Ginty? Also, hello. Yes, I did start work on a Ginty. I was in the research stage, and I was forbidden to carry on. I was told by Jimmy to probably leave it. So as I was saying with the brakes before, the similar control as it would appear is on the lamp irons as well. That one is purely by accident. Later down the road, when in the testing phase, people told me the normal controls for the lamp irons is control forward and shift is backwards, but that felt very, very weird for my brain to comprehend that backwards was above reverse. So I've had it was quite a funny interaction this afternoon where someone said that the lamp irons were broken on this particular Loco because they were pressing control 1 instead of shift 1. So they were reversing the cycle. That's by design. It just felt like shift was a better way forward than back. It's not a bug. It's a very weird thing that sometimes you don't know what is standard. You don't know what the template is, and unless you're driving things. I don't really drive that many things. I mean, I've been driving the 7F for a very long time, so that's just how I naturally felt that my fingers fell onto the keyboard, and I thought that was an appropriate control. So that's not a bug. If you encounter that, it's not a bug, but it can be changed. But yeah, that's fair enough. What you've done with this is wicked. Looking for future holds. What you bring to table is definitely a milestone. Well, yeah, don't do well with compliments. Yeah, thanks. It's definitely different, and we like different. It's just keeping things fresh, and it's not getting in anybody's way. So if you play with the rules of familiarity, it's not going to forbid you. It's not going to be advanced to put you off. It's not under advanced. I think it sits in a nice balance. And we could say the same for the the word has gone. The word has gone. Chest pressure. this gauge, the gauge that chuffs. You know which one I mean. There was an option earlier on. It's a nice voice break. I'll just tie that in. It's my body telling me it needs more gin. It was a stage earlier on where we were looking at like control wiggles, and that sort of fell into the area of the dial wiggles, and we kind of just sort of sidestepped that. Jesus, how strong is this gin? I'll take another swig. It was a thing that we sidestepped earlier on because I think it would push it far into the advanced sort of category. And at the end of the day, we want everyone to have fun with it. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of like one of the reasons why I booted into the test track, just so we can have a little look over things and stuff like that. But the Piston Resistance is a scenario I've been working on, which we'll do next. Is Dendron? Probably. I will be. It's my main goal. I will be. Oh yeah. I'm quickly moving in that direction. That's for sure. Right. Let's change to the scenario that I've been working on. So this could go horribly wrong. If it does, we'll just boot a quick drive up and we'll play on the SD. And it's fine. It's totally fine. So it's a scenario that I originally called "Show Us What You're Made Of." TS has crashed. Oh God! Oh no, it's caught up. That's great. That's not what I wanted. He was never the same. Well, do you know what? It is a little odd. The best way I can describe it is I've just handed in my notice and I've done my final day's work today. Is what it feels like, because you fall into routine pretty easily. I think it's just human condition, and going back the last few years where we've been working on this, it's silly hours. It's like what I talk about in the manual quite a bit. Is we were, when time permitted it to work on this, it was really silly hours, and the only way that we could sort of do any sort of development work on other projects was during the day, commission work and stuff like that. So we were doing silly hours where, I'd be working for 8 hours on commissions and then we'd do another 5 hours at silly o'clock. So it's bizarre to go from sort of 24/7, 7 days a week, to now it being released. And I'll be honest, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. It's a bit odd. And I say that like I've been working on this every day recently, and the truth is I haven't done anything on this recently. I mean, all the trailer and all the shorts were an absolute nightmare to sort of make, but they were all but 5 were made and scheduled. So for the last couple of weeks I've just sort of been like interacting and stuff like that. So now I'm just getting in the stage of coming to terms with it, I suppose. It's a bit weird, but like I've hinted at, we've got there is a Loco in development, and it's not far off from texturing. So right, let's swap over to TS. Okay, so this is what originally was called "Shows What You're Made Of," and it was a scenario that I broke. But it's a scenario that I've made, which is we're going balls out fun, right? Because I don't like the idea of scripted timetables and running and stuff like this. Totally understand if that's what people want, but I do like having fun. And for someone who's been studying simulations, fire temperatures and generation rates and things like that, this is just fun. So right, we're on West Lines of Scotland. Where is my timer? Boop, there it is. Right. We have 30 seconds at every single station, and we're going to race this Black 5. What more could you want? It's great. So we are wrong roading. I don't care. I'm having fun. So we're up against the PLD Black 5. We have a 8-car set, Mat 1s, Foreigners Mat 1s. So I have the maroon ones, I thought it was just maroon. It's, Westline Scotland. And the Black 5's got the blue and custard. So let me just get prepped because I'm going to miss my mark on this one. Okay, we're good. Think about if it wins aggressive, so that's just not fair, that's just rude. That is just completely rude. Okay. This is where I'm going to get stressed. Because I am very much torn over 3 rolls at the moment. Because yeah, I'm in full firing. Full manual firing. Right, small ejector. Let's get that on. Let's close the large ejector. Close the cogs. Let's get thrashing a little bit. So about 780 is what we want on. Chucks are a bit loud. Oh, well. How about that? Let me know if that's fine, I can adjust it, it's easy peasy. Oh my god, we're dropping pressure. This is not BMG. BMG? Yeah, BMG, but it's not, let's not go down that road. 780 is what we want on the ideal. We could turn the blower off now. Yes. See, this is where it gets a bit interesting because the simulation on the firebox has been an absolute nightmare to try and get right because we've really looked into how the temperature changes and steam generation rates are all done. So the Loco boots into sort of like an idle state. So my pet peeve of like being a player for years and years has been that when you boot in and you have a Loco that's just so very trigger happy with the safety valves. So I wanted to boot into sort of like an idle state where the Loco was quite cool. So you could really work it hard, get that fire temperature up, and then you'd really boost your generation rates. The problem is when you boot it in to do a race sort of thing like this, you end up trying to push a little bit too hard before the Loco's warmed up. So I'm kind of running a little bit flat on the generation rate at the moment. But it's fine, because this is where it's really cool, where the 7F and the Black 5 are really close to sort of tractive effort. But I've got more wheels, less smaller diameter wheels. So I've got the torque and the speed, acceleration rather, at lower speeds, whereas the Black 5 doesn't. But then that can overtake me on the long straights that we have coming up. So it's going to be a bit of a tug of war. I thought it was a really good match because I did look at like the tractive efforts that the Black 5 has, and it does sort of come close. So we'll see what happens. This is going to be fun. I've done a couple of test runs with this, and I've done surprisingly well. The only problem is that the HUD hides a little bit, but it's fine. So we're going to be stopping at every single station. The AI has stopped there for 30 seconds, and you'll notice on your screen that there is the 2 zeros. That is my 30-second countdown timer as well. So it's going to be a bit fun. I like this sort of stuff. This is my cup of tea. This is where I just completely thrive. So I'll get invested. I'll be cheering on like football in a minute. It's great. What we do, we are running low on water, but we do have a couple. These stops are kind of close together. Steam generation rate is not moving at all. No, we've sort of maxed out on the generation rate. So that's another example of where a lot of like time went into the simulation and stuff like that. So we calculated every single sort of volume of the boiler, the weight of the water, like measuring the weight of the water that could be in the volume of the parts of the boiler and subtracting, like, we went into depths of trying to figure out what this boiler was capable of doing. So basically, you will hit a level where this boiler will just cannot physically put that extractive effort down. You've maxed out your generation rate completely. Like, there's only a fine line of how old. I'll get to that comment in a minute. How much like this boiler can do in terms of temperature of the fly box, the steam it can hold, anything like that. So that's just an angle. So when you see the generation max out, that is just like just a limit that we've come to where it struggles, and it's like, right, this is the physical cap of what this Loco will do. So we'll see what this does. Now I do believe there is a 50 around here, and I might have just whoops. Okay, I'll go to 48. I'll be the bigger man. Actually, once we're going downhill, let's get these injectors on. Got 1 in 100. Nice. That's what we want. Blower is wide open. But these injectors are hungry boys. To be fair, using a large ejector as well to keep the braking system is using a lot of steam as well. Me and my mates used to do TS also. Oh god, yeah, we did as well. I always was in favour of ignore the speed limits. That was my particular rule that I wanted, because I just could not keep track of. It was doing my nutting. I was like, oh god, I can't cope with that. Okay, we're back to 60. So another thing I've tried to do as well is remember where the speed limits are on the route, because obviously I'm wrong roading. That's the word. Oh, okay, we got the station coming up. Okay. And another thing as well that's really interesting is obviously the 7S had enormous braking power, so I can outbrake him. So it's like, this is what I mean. It's a proper tug of war, and I love it. I love the idea of this. Just how dare do I brake? What are we doing? We are doing a AI race on West Lines of Scotland, because you know the 7F ran on the. Oh, I've gone over and I don't want to prime it. The 7F that ran on the S&D. You know, it just makes complete sense. I reckon I'm fine. What are we on? 0.3 miles. Hi. Hello. You okay? Totally agree. Speed limits are guidelines, not a rule. Entirely correct. At the end of the day, if it was such a big deal, we'd have a speedo. Since there ain't one, it clearly doesn't matter that much. Oh yeah, the brakes come off pretty quick on this. We stood at. I particularly remember we've got video of the brakes in operation, the gauges, and we were zooming in on videos and timing things, just try and get it as accurate as possible. We even have a video of it setting off from. Oh, I might have overshot this slightly. We have a video of it setting off from roughly mid hence, and we timed how long it took for the steam to leave the cylinder cogs, stuff like that. Just try and get it. Oh, I got my thing to do, and go. Oh, my thing's not doing it. My timer's not working. Why is my timer not working? But I programmed my timer. Please. There we go. Right. I'll allow myself a couple of seconds. Blower's fine. That's fine. Let's get the sanding gear on, because we are going to rock it out of here now that the boiler's nice and hot. 9, 8. SDJR. No, we're on West Lines of Scotland because it's a route that makes total sense to absolutely nobody but me. But we're racing this Black 5. We've got 30 seconds at every stop. Oh, it would help if I take the brake off. Oh dear. Oh dear. Come on, brake. Yeah. Let's get it roaring. Oh, come on, we've got loads of steam now. Oh, what was that? Oh, no, that's the wrong button. What do I do? No. I'll save it though. 50, okay. Second valve for the wind. That's the only valve, there's only one valve. Okay, take blower and safeties off. Blower and tender off, that's what I meant. I don't know why TS keeps doing this weird lighting glitch as well. Where we are, we're doing alright with that. Okay, we're on a bit of an incline, 181. By 5, yeah, pretty much. Push it a little bit more. How are we doing? Balls creeping up. That's a cool sight though. Oh, I haven't got any what's inappropriate? Let's go with that one. Oh, I've just pressed G by accident. That was a terrible mistake, wasn't it? I don't want to change the point in front. Hopefully that's not actually... No, it doesn't. That's fine. We're all fine. Miles just passed. Well, I ain't going 60 mile an hour. Well, it's a bit odd to me that some locals have 2 steam valves, especially how easy it is when they get to the cracked up point. Yeah, well, I think it's all about drafting and stuff. It's one area I don't actually know too much about. Oh, we're braking pretty late on this one. Good time for the water. You can hear that Black 5 going a mile off. And then crashes to the side and we're going to sip of gin from his glass. Oh, well. I just bit the glass whispering in my ear, I told you so. That's all it's going to be. Rip brakes. Yeah, well. When they don't exist, you can rip them. Oh, I get to see me timer and go. Please. There we go. It's working now. Right, so get it forward gear. 12, 11, 10. We'll get sanders on because I am going to rip it completely. 2, 1. Oop. Oop. Bit too early. I'm getting in the zone now. I'm going to win. Oh, there this type of race. Well, yeah, it's fun. Gotta have fun. So we're on now, 1 in 150. You can manage that pretty easily. Get a bit of air coming through. It was easy to set up a scenario. No, it was an absolute pain in my rear. Well, I tried doing several ways of doing it. I tried doing putting the destinations on this loco as a player loco, like I did with the AI, and the Pathfinder couldn't do it because of how because I'm wrong road and I'm going against all the signals, and the game was like, oh, even though they manage off handle and stuff like that. So kind of a pain, but I suppose what I've done is I've got the AI working as the template, and then from there I sort of mimic what it's doing, which is why I've given myself a little timer rather. We did joke about having a streamline. Yes, we did. We joked about having a streamline one and one with tram skirts as well. Where is he? Yep, coming up the rear. Also look hideous, I love it. Well, yeah. Did we have we had skirts done for the box, didn't we? Or am I imagining that? How far are we off the next? Oh, we're pretty damn close to the let's get the blower on that one. Oh, I've overdone it with the... Oh, I didn't leave the injector open. That's fine. Oh, well. But they were inspired by the Y6, let's be honest. They weren't totally just ripped. Oh, we're running late on this one. I did outbrake him though. Gulp. Okay, right. Good, we're good, we're good. I left the blower on the whole time. It's not going to do any damage, is it? Any local transcoats mix is made infinitely Excuse me, I completely agree. Oh god, nearly time to go. Oh, we set off at the same time. Yeah, I've definitely got the acceleration off the gate. Bye-bye. Nope, there he's coming. He's hanging. Well, we aren't. Oh, we're on flat. We're on the level. So supposed to be running since the i6 was the first release. I'll release after we have jump shots. Yes, we did have that conversation. That's a real conversation. That's perfect. I can imagine some major headboard being bottlenecked by a tramway connection, so any local wanted to get in or out had to have transcripts. Yeah, I think we've talked about that at some point as well. But it was like some sort of crazy like regulation for like small section of track on the network, and therefore they just applied it to all. I think we had a conversation very similar to that. Where's he gone? Oh, ha ha ha! Put a bit more steam down actually. So we've got quite a bit on this one, so actually get up to some sort of speed. Oh, I can relax for a minute. It's great. Why have I got a 20? Oh, that's not good. Why have I got a 20? Let's double check. Yeah, I knew pressing G was a bad idea. There we go. Accidents happen. I reckon we could just fairly course this now. Large ejector open, how are we doing? Whistle, okay. Let's get us to a stop and then I'll answer some questions there, because I can see some good questions. Oh, I've stopped too early. I just know I have. Well, maybe somebody late, yeah. I'm trying to stop somewhat believably. I don't want to just like hammer the brakes on like as he does when I just say it. Oh, I'm going to prime it if I do that. I'll do that. Reset and go. We win. Okay, we'll prep for. I mean, if we're still on the flat level, kind of. I might be able to take the brakes off. We'll see. We'll see what that does. We shouldn't roll back. And we're off. So basically, we got 30 seconds on top. That's fine. Look at this clockwork. trying to remember, didn't get too far. I remember that conversation with Fiction. Yeah, we had that conversation. We've had that. It's a bizarre conversation that sort of continues on with most things, to be honest. Where is it cheating if you remove the brakes before the time is up? It's cheating if I remove the brakes and I actually move. But since I did neither, it's not cheating. Oh, did he just set off? Yeah, looks like it. Come on, we can crank it a little bit. Have you ever tried experimenting with a cold start system? Only on paper. Wasn't a fan of the depth that it needed. And I couldn't really understand why anybody would want it. We could quite easily need... sorry, we can quite easily implement a feature where we basically, you know, let the Loco warm up. I don't think that'd be a very difficult feature. I mean, tying it into sort of like an efficiency state, stuff like that, that's fine. In terms of gameplay, I cannot appreciate anybody who wants that feature. I can't rationalise why you'd want it. And if we did, we'd have to look into putting them in as a separate Loco. So you'd have every example of the Locos we've got, and then you'd have a duplicate in... no, it's just my phone. You'd have a duplicate of that said Loco in cold state, so effectively you'd be doubling up the size of the pack for nothing. But I'm open to suggestions or anything like that. Yeah, it's a very good question. Like Jimmy says, like, where is the balance? Because you know, TS World has this conversation all the time where, you know, realism and fun are two different things. At the end of the day, it is a game, and if we could entirely make this 1:1 realistic, but there's a couple of things in the way. One is the gate to doing that is the limitation of what the game can actually do, which surprisingly is it's a 50-50, and it's more powerful than what people think, but it's still not powerful enough to do what everybody wants. It's this weird sort of interim of ideal sort of integration. So yeah, I think what we've got and what the direction we're on at the moment is perfectly acceptable. At the end of the day, we're not charging a price point which reflects like this pro top tier sort of product. So I think we're on steady ground at the moment. Very unmuch like my braking abilities as a driver, not a Loco. Let's point that in there. I'm not gonna. Cough, the Britannia's cough. You'll have to. There's a joke there that you need to sort of educate me on, I'm afraid. Don't think I've got the Britannias. So, go. Okay. Just get them on, prep it for forward. Sand on, tap pistol is fine. Oh, this is great fun. Someone's late to the party. See, I'm trying to get ahead because I know that section up ahead is just flat and level, and he's just gonna trump me on that section. Brits have a go The Brits in-game have a functional saver here that works when you want to, so you spend half the time struggling and that's while making steam. I think I have played with the Brits though. I remember a friend, I went round to his house and he had them. I think he had chorus as well. That's the thing. And I do remember them being a bit difficult. They had, correct me if I'm wrong, they had the injector system where you had to really fine tune the water feeds to get the right. I'm really pushing this. I know I'm going downhill, but. Oh, I left the sanders and the blower on. That's good use of steam, I suppose. Now, I do believe we have a 50. Yeah, we've just gone into it now. It's fine. It's 50-50. Very impressed by all the features and comprehension of this pack. Sadly, I'm not in a position to pick these up today. What would you say is your favourite part of the 7F? Well, firstly, thank you. Appreciate it. Again, like I keep saying, there's absolutely no pressure whatsoever. I appreciate people saying that they want to pick these up, but they're not in a position to, so it's totally fine. You know, I think games and DLC these days offer more than just simply purchasing it and enjoying it. You can enjoy it through different means. You know, we've spent a lot of time putting shorts and trailers together and stuff, and if that's like the form of enjoyment you get out of it, that's fine. Streams like this, that's fine. There's no pressure to buy on day one. It's a silly sort of mentality, so don't worry about that. Favorite part? That's a really difficult question, because I can pretty much remember every stage and every hurdle, every issue. Favorite part? Ooh, you got me thinking now. I'd have to say the sounds, because the baggage that came with the sounds is obviously organising a field trip, which took several months to do, and actually being there at Watercrest to record it was an experience all in itself. But then recording and implementing and working on the new sound system. So I'd have to say sounds is my favourite thing, because it is. Yeah, like I work with sounds all the time, so. Say the human models, you know you want to. But I mean, they're a lovely touch. Lovely. It's a big hill. You can stop shoveling. Put a bit of water in. Did we just get hit with it? Oh, hi Mark. Probably. A film that I always reference, but I've never seen. Yeah, well, that's true actually. The Midland Red delivery. That was a delivery that I kind of knew I wanted to do first before anything else. Before even anything was working again, I was like, I want to do a red one. Really want a red one. Why are we going so slow? And then when we actually finally got around to putting that one together, it was just kind of like this actually looks pretty good. So that was pretty interesting. If I'm not mistaken, not only was the 7F one of your first locos in game, but it was also the first loco to receive a Steam chest on the SSS EP, and that was the first loco to have a free cam. I believe you're right on that one. It's not the first loco to have a free cam. This technology has existed for a year or two now. Actually, it's been on several locomotives. Some of them will never see the light of day because they're just like boxes with wheels and dev locos essentially. It was on a, believe me, Forerunner, you're around, you'll be able to correct me, but it's on one of Yaron's Wayside Works Industrials, and I don't know his developer name. What's Swede's developer name? The Loco that was put out recently. He has a walk around camera as well. Oh, I'm going too quick. But that being said, I have no idea where the Black 5 boy is. Not going to complain. Just means I'm winning. Start the timer. Yeah, we don't need blower on. A bit open a crack. I could technically pick them up today, but you say nothing personal, but completely is personal. It's not personal against me, it's personal against you. You've got priorities and things you've got to fulfill. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, gold, the timer says 1. Just went to have a cheeky swig. You can't do it that game. Interesting. Are these released products? Are they private devs? Most of them are private. There is Yaron's Wayside Works one is it's released, I believe. Ooh, I hope I haven't just spoiled something. I'm sure it's for a couple of years ago. Show my version is what Fauna's reply is. I showed my first version on a unit a while back. The Wayside Works Loco ended up not using it. Oh. Whoops, my bad. I knew it was on it in some capacity, but I didn't know whether. It's the mainline models P class. That's the one. Yeah. Oh, did it produce as payware? I thought it was freeware. Oh. We all learned something. These was tested and dropped. Right, gotcha. Gotcha. I am a bit dubious of what's going on because... Oh, he's at the station. Right, okay. I suppose it was at the back end of a steep gradient. We've got 30 coming up, yeah, I remembered now. Back end of a steep gradient, so probably... Technically, I guess this is the first released engine with this feature. Well, the P class has already come out. But they... it's difficult because I know of the Loco coming in and out of development, but the timelines of where I am and where he has sort of implemented things and changed things, it's all skew with at the moment. But yeah, it's one of the first. I suppose the major one that everyone will go to is Deluxe. Deluxe is French compound. But then not never released, so that doesn't fit the criteria that you said. Oh, we're going to 30 and I'm not doing 30. Let's see, this is I'm having troubles now. I'm starting to lapse. Ejector, thank you. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, 30. I was right. Yeah, from what we know, this is the first one to have a lean feature. And I'd say... in addition to that as well, it's the first one to have a boundary. So the cab walk around has a boundary of around the actual footplate as well. So it's a square at the back here, and then your perimeter goes around the boxes and stuff around here. Taking things nice and steady. I've not done some free cam for a bit. Let's do that. Nice. I'm in a tree. Now, what are the chances I can do this quite well? It's very minimal, but I've had some practice with all the... No, I've completely ruined this. Oh, have I? Oh, I don't know. Get out of my way, woman. Ugh. What's that? No, there he is. That'll do. That's brilliant. Boop. Okay, let's get in the cab. What are we doing? How are we doing? A bit more calm. Yeah, you can lean either way, so you can be a bit of a wonky driver if you want to be, but I prefer leaning out. It's just locked the door. I didn't lock the door. Oh, the timer. See, I'm really not paying attention now. I understand that the DC coded character stand right where the camera is. Well, if that's the conspiracy, I'll run with it. I believe we're still in a third. Yes, we are. Now, should I be worried that the Black 5 is just nowhere to be seen? Oh no, he's there. He's not that far behind, actually. Okay, so we might have got this. Get the road to make sure we're all fine. I have ran this scenario twice. I did some tests for power and abilities and all that lot to make sure that we matched. And then I've done one which was a full line run, and I actually derailed right at the very end because I missed one point when I was setting it up. Now I think I have fixed that. Oh god, we lifted both valves. Come on, we need to get out of this 30. Let's not waste it. Okay, 45, that was good enough. Have you paid attention to the speed limit? Yes, I've literally just been talking about speed limits. I'm in a 45. And it goes up to... It should go up to 60 round about now. Come on, let it rip. It's about time that TSC had multiplayer so we can do this with other people. Funny story. It is weird. Okay, I want a bit more speed. We're on the flat level. Let's get it. Let's get things roaring. Wait, what? Look, all I'll say is, you know, when you start experimenting with ideas, and there are still a couple of untapped ideas that M4 have talked about, what we wanna do, what directions we can take things and stuff like that. When you start looking at putting features in like that, you have to sort of think outside the box. Really silly ways of doing things. It's borderline trickery. You have to sort of trick the game into thinking this or allowing this and stuff like that. And in that process, you discover things and you work things out. And in the time that we've been doing some of these features, we've found we've got more of an idea for other things. $75. I don't actually know what our top speed is that we've done so far. There once was a multiplier, from what I am led to believe, a long time ago, before we fried Mars bars. Yeah, that's when the high street was Woolworths, Wilco's, and Toys R Us. Many a blue moon has passed. Well, I'm pushing this right to the gate. 55. And we're 3/4 of a mile away. Because we're wrong roading, should I be technically running red headlights? I don't know. Funny though. We've got time for a quickie shot. Have we? Have we got time for a cheeky shot? No, we've not. Oh dear. On the cool case, wrong road. I'm pretty sure the enthusiast will tell you the opposite. All things considered, I managed to pull that back pretty well. Can't put the brakes. Well, we didn't get desperate enough to put all the brakes on in all the Mark 1s using the F4 hoods, so I suppose we didn't do too badly. I don't know where the what 5 is. Sort of cocky little flyby cam. Where is the black 5? Okay. There you are. corridor socket. It's fine. It's fine. I'm really like pushing this to the edge, so I don't know. You started moving yet? Yeah, you just took off. So next stop, Rothwell platform 2. Because the idea is be ahead before we get to this bit, because this is just a long straight where not going to do very well if he's ahead. How are we doing with audio levels and things like that? Are we all good? Just check. Yeah, all good. Sweet, 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 sweet. Oh god, at 1 in 149. We might struggle pushing it more than this. I think we might have maxed out a little bit. Well, I'll trade off a bit of boiler pressure to get up here. But that's good, everything sounds okay, that's what we want. Now, is my trade-off of boiler pressure worth it? Depends if that's the station I can see. No, that's the crest. Oh, we have upped out a little bit though. Where's this black 5? It is creeping. I don't know what speed it's doing, but... Ooh. Would be sound better if there was a speaker with access to Spotify, because then we could listen to Used by Emma Blackberry. God, Emma Blackberry, I remember Emma Blackberry. I did talk about, it was pretty early on with script discussions, but I had this idea of like a music player in the cab, but it didn't quite work in the continuity of the Loco, because I was thinking like if we had like a tape deck where you could press play and rewind and fast forward and stuff like that, where I could put like bits of music and stuff on it that I had, and then it was kind of like, well, you wouldn't have tape, you wouldn't have like a little thing like that, it'd be the record surely, because these are like, so it's kind of like a I don't know how we can get that to fit, so kind of just like left that idea behind. Okay, now we make back that pressure and water, frankly. How far are we off? A little more. There we do. A little more. A little more. Probably would help to have the large ejector for this as well. Let it rip. And nope. Yeah, so this is yep, that's just oh sure, that's cool. That'd be funny to put on a diesel Loco cab though, it would just play generic 60s. I love the idea of just world building, and it's one of the angles we've sort of gone with what the features and the efficiency of this sort of script has done has allowed us to play around with things. Like oh God, it's been 30 seconds already. Good lord. It's allowed us to sort of play around with things, you know, like we do have the valve gear system, which is probably not the best time to show it off, but you know, we do have that sort of quality of life thing, and I'd like to calm down. I'd like to dive into that a bit more. Different ways we could take things. Oh, don't turn that on. There we go. Oh, this is really like, it's quite difficult to do this. Okay, so we're on a downgrade of 1 into 2 or 1. Where is the black 5? Ooh, you're not far behind at all. Right, so I really need to make up the distance now. Okay, I had a really fun idea where me and Forerunner were talking about it, and it was back when I thought I had way more time than what I did. I had this idea of hiding a QR code somewhere on the texture sheet, which took you to Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley, so I would effectively rickroll reskinners. And I loved the idea so much, but I just never got around to implementing it because of all the I think we went, I can't remember the number of individual test stages we went through, but I think there's about 7 individual tests for the Loco, and then we did another 2 in the final test, so it was a constant of just improving what we could, and it was just one of them that never actually played. Well, it would have been funny if I did. Chaotic Goose, I may have noticed a small bug with the 7F. Please do tell. You're welcome to type it here or send me a direct message and I can probably look at it then. How small? How are we doing? Okay, you... oh, I'm going much quicker than him. Much quicker than him. Some people have a desk fans and stuff like that, which I like to play with. Yeah, I think anything in front of the player that they can play with, which doesn't directly impact the way that product functions. You know, as a Loco, it must function as a Loco. That's what I mean when I say product functionality. I think as long as it doesn't inhibit what the product is and how the product functions, I think it's all it's going to do is aid. You know, and it's like one of the things that I was quite insistent on was the shovel. And I just love that quality. Is it 100% realistic? No, because there isn't an individual shovel in it. But you know, there are limitations, and in those limitations, that's where you work with how you could world build, and that's one of the directions we took. Nope. Yep, that's the one I'm looking for. So what we're going down, we're going 1 and 221. I like clicky, openy, draggy things in the cab, windows, handles, door frames, fan, whatever the hell I want to finish with. So yeah, 100%. And I think the difficulty as well is I don't want to be in a position where I can say, oh, this is a fully interactable cab, when I know that there are things in there that can't be interacted with, and it's kind of like twofold on why that would be. A really good example is we have the water shut-off valves here on the tender. Now those are fully animated, they've got sounds and everything, but I've turned them off because we ran into an issue where having them work, and we could easily have them work, so you could turn the injectors on and it wouldn't work because you haven't actually opened your water feed valves, is that would then inhibit control with the F4 HUD. So doing that, this feature wouldn't work on the F4 HUD. Wow, that just went very quiet all of a sudden. And the idea of this is where it kind of gets like a bit forceful. I don't want to stop before a station ideally, but no, I don't want to sort of like push forward an idea or an implementation if it just gets in the way. And as annoying as that is, it's like having this feature would be cool because it's more realistic, it's more immersive and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, people who are not in it for that level of detail have something removed from them, and I just like it's a privileged position for me to put in a feature I want, but it punishes other people in the same process. So it's a very odd counterbalance where you sort of tightroping your way through development. Like, this would be a really good idea in this angle, but it kind of hurts a lot of people in another. Oh, we've got plenty of pressure. We've got plenty of everything, to be honest. Okay, where are we on the map? We're there, and he's coming in pretty hot. It's an angle I like talking about, to be honest. Development, and it's kind of like there's huge sections in the manual about that as well, because I really do like talking about like what are the problems, what have we ran into, what works, what doesn't work. Because nobody talks about that. I'm not saying people should talk about it or people shouldn't talk about it, but people don't really talk about it, and I just find it fascinating. I want to know why someone hasn't put a feature in. Well, it's like, well, let's talk about it. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. Go to 75. Okay. To be honest, with the Phantom Shovel, if you position the camera just right and it looks through. Well, this is it. You can. Excuse me. Yeah, you can position yourself in the cab, and it looks fine. But you run. Oh God, I need to burp, and I'm trying not. I finished my gin, and I need to replenish it, but I'll tie that in with a break in a minute. The shovel is a really good example of what I was just talking about, where you know how I said like the water shut-off valves on the tender would punish players because you have a function on the F4 that doesn't work. You have a similar issue with the, I won't say punished, entirely. But you have this issue where if there was an animated fireman with that shovel, where it would animate like that, obviously that'd be really cool and immersive, but we've implemented a walk around feature, and now you have two features which would sort of clash against each other, because then you would no longer want to walk around through the cab, because then you'd have a fireman that you'd have to walk through, so you'd be inclined not to go to that area of the cab. So it is as it is by design. So it's immersive when you're in the cab, but you can still operate and walk around with the walk around feature. But then if you're on the external view and you're shoveling coal, it doesn't clash through the model either. It still shovels. So it's kind of it aids in both fronts, where it doesn't actually subtract anything. Speed limit 75. How are we doing? Oh, that's not me, that's the black 5. That's good. How are we doing? We're still on the right road. We're going to Anna platform 2. Okay. Do it just fine. Should you have to press a button each time to shovel, or is it a continuous shovel until you stop? Exactly that. So I played around with toggle controls and more dynamic controls. So the firebox, if you press F or press and hold F, it'll open, and Shift F will close it. So you can actually get a nice little area if you like on it. You can even play around with the firebox great as well if you want. But with the shovel, it's just a toggle. It's an R on and it's an R off. Talking of which, we need more coal. Open the reg, shut the reg, open the large ejector. And we'll coast it, I think. We'll coast it. We're half a mile away. Doing 50 and a 75. Calibrating works 1361, has no clicky, draggy windows, shutters or anything like that in the cabin, which is pointless. Well, that's unfortunate that it doesn't uphold to the sort of like, oh god, I'm going to 45. Oh, I'm not too far off. We can live and learn from each other, and the only way we can sort of improve that is by just listening to what people like. It's not as simple as people want this, we'll have to add it. Sometimes you're limited by time factors, financial factors, game mechanic factors. There's lots. It's not as clear cut, really. Took a quick recording of what I mentioned. I can DM it to if you'd like. Please, yes. You can do that on Discord or via Facebook. That would be appreciated. Thank you. Get the timer reset. Oh, I bet you I've just completely over shoveled. Yeah. Get ready on me start timer. There we go. Right, get ready for reset. So glad it's not the BMG thing where you have to hold down the damn key to shovel. It gets over real fast. Well, it does and it doesn't. I can totally understand why and where that feature sits, because it's an immersion thing, and I think there was a part of development where each sort of developer looked at different features and how they thought they could implement more immersion, and the idea of pressing R gives the impression that you're actually shoveling that coal, and it's more of more of an intuitive way of connecting with the game. Because I'm pretty sure if you asked a fireman, they'd pretty much said it's quite annoying having to shovel coal. So that's part of the fun. If possible, please could you consider a dynamic press for each shovel fall option? It's one of my favourite press. It was originally on the Y6 script, I believe. It's called lump firing, and the principle on that is, yeah, like you said, every R only operates a round of coal. Yeah, if that's what people want, we can quite easily do that. Like I said before, like this is not the end of this product. I have every intention of doing updates, keeping it relevant, fixing and anything like that. Fortunately, from what we've seen, there's not actually many bug reports coming in, which is it's pretty good. I'm very happy about that. Yes, we've left the 45, we're now at 50. Black 5's at the station. So when do we go on to the big long... there's a tight curve, isn't there? Okay, we're not on that. Why are you not predicting ahead? Why isn't that going to be on that point? Okay, we'll do that in a second. Okay, that black 5 is creeping up on us, but I am not paying that much attention. Pressing for each shovel is fine, no issue with that, but when you have to hold it down... Oh, okay, I wasn't aware that I haven't actually purchased a PLD product for a little while. Or any DLC, for that matter. The issue is if you kept pressing the shovel call, it would get a bit annoying as you would have to drive and focus on the shovel at the same time, and it'd just get annoying. So no toggle feature. So a toggle feature is probably a good option if you are able to do two different firing styles. Yeah, two different firing styles probably seems like the better way forward. I can kind of see what you mean, because I suppose if you have to repetitively keep pressing or holding and stuff like that, that's a finger away from a finger off another control input, and I suppose your mind is already directed on one control, so yeah, it's taking your attention away. So I can understand that. Where are we doing? Where are we doing? Okay, now you've gone through. Okay. It might have just been like a limitation on the line render. Let's see how far we can push this. Trying to do a few different things at once. These auto firemen, to be honest with you, I'm surprised I'm getting this far ahead by not using an auto fireman. To say I'm still doing this manual and doing okay. I'm pretty happy that I've not crashed, but now I've jinxed it, so. It'll do. It's prepped. Yeah, I do know the Loco. It's very odd. It's sort of like if it's kind of like on the same level as like a bit of a secret, because it's like I've been driving this Loco for years, and to you, well, most people, it's the first time you've seen it. Oh, it would have if I open the large ejector. Ooh. Am I leaking water? I'm really straining now. I'm like, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Where on the map? Where are we on the map? Alright, I'm off. It was nice seeing you set up. Alright, cheers for tuning in. I should speak to you later. Oh my god, he's right behind us. Oh no, he's stopping. Yeah, he's stopping. Okay. That's fine. What are we on? We're on a 320, that's fine. Let's do a quick little jig. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We can really push this now. Tell you what, I am going to. I'm just going to pause that, and just going to go have a few minute break. Just going to refill my drink, stretch my legs for a minute. Yeah, I'll be like a second or two. So we'll just have a quick break, I think. it seems that you've all been enjoying the music, which is it's like, oh, okay, it is quite jazzy, isn't it? It's like, I quite like that. Oh, right, yes, right. So I got myself a tea. That's not the important drink. That's just the hydration nonsense. It's me, my friend Grayson's Mediterranean orange gin. That's the one that is paramount. I'll be fine. How are we all doing anyway? I mean, I've had one, so I'm desperately trying slightly harder not to spill this one as well. Lovely. I like trains. Yeah, we all do. We're all in that. We're all in that support group. Right. Right. Let's have a quick catch up before I press the escape button. I think we were just accelerating, weren't we? So we shouldn't be in any trouble. I say that as famous last words, but you know. I'll just do a quick just quickly checking Discord to see if anything's popped up in the group. Which I don't think there has, but we'll commit. Right. Boiler pressure is dropping. Fire. We can keep that fire tops up. I know we're on 783, but we're going to crest that hill in a minute. I can sort of just see it. No, it's about here. There we go. Speed's coming back now. I thought that was me then. I was like, I did stop at that. That's not. That's me. I've lost the button. It's number 9. There we go. Audio levels still okay? Oh, we are dropping. Hang on. Oh. I was worried that was a station then. It isn't, and therefore we should not worry. Blood pressure is maintaining, we're at half water. Fire's good, temp's good. Speed is ideal, really. So on the top end of what we can sort of do with this Loco now. It's about, we're at 60 miles an hour with a full rake is kind of like difficult and ideal situations are. Level, straight track. So we're doing alright, but I can't see a black 5. It's got to be close. Where are we at? Oh, it's going to be around this corner, isn't it? So 1.3 miles away. What would that be? Water. We can risk it. 56.2. 0.7 miles. Risk it for a chalky biscuit. Wouldn't say no to one, put it that way. Half a mile. Yeah, we can coast it. We'll do alright. Speed limit actually still 75. I don't think there's many speed limit changes around about here. But mind you, they're going into a 40 there. Ah, it'd be 40 for the curve on it. Okay, that makes sense. Note to self, stay at 40. Not through the station. This might be one of my panic and do the brakes. I'm panicking and doing all the brakes. Everybody's wearing the soup. There we go. Let's get you forward. Handbrake, are you off or are you on? You should be off. Oh, you're off now, that's fun. Oh, okay, we're pushing it again. Do a little peeky. Still not seeing. Come on. I'm determined to win this. Very determined. Okay, he's just pulling in as we're pulling out. So we are going to traverse across. So we are capped at 40. Yeah, 40 as I said, around speed. Doing alright. So where is that switch? Okay. Okay, now we're on the 90. This is where we just hammer it and we see where we get up to. I don't think there is another stop. I think we do go into. We're gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to be really careful on the map. F9, not F9, just number 9. We're gonna have to be careful on the 9. Make sure that our our route is actually correct when we get closer. Nice little power. All the way. So is that we're going down more than 200. So we should be fine. That's great. He's still limited to 40. It's just when he comes off that curve, which he's nearly at, but we kind of got a good headway, but that black 5, it can get a lot quicker than me. $54. There's a plan. Do some cheeky shots. Hang on. It's trippy. There she is. That's a tree. I don't know what I'm doing. And zoom out, you sponge. There we go. So you want in the wild. The wild there is Scotland, where it never ran. How are we doing? Oh, he's creeping. I think we got this. We must have got this. We'll check our road. Still seems fine. I think it was around here I derailed. Around the bridge of near Kingmore. We're still building up Stu. We're on 58.3. Yeah, by 4. $58.4. Do we have enough water? Yeah, that's it, we're going up water. Just build that pressure back up. 58.5 and holding steady. Ooh, ooh. Tilting over 58.6. Double check the road. Ba, 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 ba. I am. Oh, I was just about to say I'm concerned it's not running past that point. But I think that's golden. So yeah, basically we're going to come around here and then I think we jump. Where do we jump? Yeah, we jump straight across and up there into Castle Platform 3, I believe. I have massively overfired you. Whoops. 59. Okay, where's the black 5? Where are you? You were on my neck. Now you've just disappeared. He's going quicker. Okay, he's going quicker. Just depends on what speed limits lay ahead. Which I'm not going to know about. Please don't be silly. Oh, 60. That's fine. I can go with 60. Do I be cocky enough and say we've got this? Ah, but I'm pretty sure we're going to drop to like 30 or something. See, they've just gone to 40. Damn it. This is unknown territory. I've never been here before. Just to rephrase that. It's unknown territory. I've not been here before in this scenario. In this way. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. What prize do I get for winning? I guess pour myself another gin. Gin. To be fair, I've already had a toasty today. I had a cheese and tomato toasty with some homemade leek and potato soup. It was divine. I believe I've won. And I actually moved around in the cabinet. Ooh. Let's go over it. I win! I win! Come on, I'll open the doors. Why not? Can actually watch the... We shall go find the black 5. Watch that come in. Might as well, it'd be rude not to. There's a Locomotive Shift 2 heads out view. No, there's only one cab camera, and that's entirely baked into the walk around feature, so you can walk around it and then lean out. So the heads out is integrated into your primary cab cam. So it's not. Think of it as instead of thinking it as it doesn't have a Shift 2 heads out, it's got an advanced heads out. Should I drive this black 5 a bit more? Oh, you still eating those Galaxy digestive chocolates? That's just rude. Jet 2 holiday. Body lush. Oh god, take your time. I came in at the right pace. No wonder there's always delays on the network. For a moment I was unsure of where it was actually going. But yeah, it definitely is going this one. You gonna have to stop? I win! That was good fun. Went way better than what I thought it was going to do. It's really good to get that fire nice and hot and actually just push the Loco to the end of its, to max of its abilities. And it holds up pretty well. Like I said, it's got that torque, especially at low speeds, and it's got quite a lot of high-speed capabilities as well, but you really see the difference when you pair it up with other things. So the question is, what next? Depends what anybody else wants. We can take things over to Salisbury, actually. Just have a little jaunt up there with the box. At the end of the day, we did release the route as well. Let's just get that sorted. Have a little bit of a quieter one now. Just need to find it in the list. Oh, it's at the top. There you go. Is there any update on the ghost of Salisbury? I still can't find it. It's a good joke, no? There's quite a lot of little cheeky updates. Lore updates, I should say. I'm gonna play a bit boring, I think. I've booted into the second scenario that comes, free roam scenario for Salisbury, and I think I'm just gonna start as it does in the scenario at the harbour and have a nice little jaunt up. Or should I do it the other way around? Ah, so good job I did a fly test. I'll just remove that 7F. I don't want that. That's the one I use for filming. That seems fine. Today's scenarios come with a 7F. There is a free roam scenario for the QU SDJR. In terms of like scenarios, no. There were several attempts to make a scenario, but at every stage, through one reason or another, that sort of fell through. So at the moment there are no scenarios, but I do want to get some scenarios put together. It was sort of inevitable that there would be a bug fix or a patch to put out. So the plan was, you know, if and when that comes, we'll look into some scenarios for it as well. Okay, we'll just do standard Salisbury at the harbour. Just have to deal with a pretty big spider. Well, I want all the ins and outs of that whilst picking my feet up off the floor. I had a horrific experience with one the other month, and it'll be forever tormented on my dreams. Sounds good. So just have updates to include a few extra bits. Oh yeah, the plan has always been to support it going forward. Any new extra tweaks and bits and bobs that we come up with, I have every intention of going back and keeping it up to date. Running across the sodding curtain, well, like a big chunky boy on the curtain. Whoa! What was that? That was odd. Like a proper huge house spider running across the middle of the curtain. Yeah, I'm afraid, Jimmy, you're gonna have to burn your house down. You're now homeless. No, on the curtain. Ooh, no. No. Yeah, Yeah. As soon as you mentioned the word spider, I instantly just lifted my feet up and looked round. Nope. Nope. Not having that, thank you. Rather it on the curtain than the floor or the ceiling. I don't know what's worse. I think I'd have to go with ceiling. Because there's nothing on the ceiling and I know where it is. No. Situation with spider more terrifying than most curtainly. Very nicely done. I assume it was around the other side of the window and just carried on walking around, which should just have to be the front side of the curtain. Yeah, you've sort of disrupted everybody by mentioning the word beginning with S and ending in Ida. Oh, why is the speed limit 5? Jimmy, is that right? Something's wrong with the speed limit here. Don't bully Jimmy. We've all had terrible experiences with a spider, and if you haven't, it's probably going to be tonight that you do. So percentage gradient's disgusting. If the speed limits don't work, that means I'm free game to go as fast as I want then. That's just how the rules work. What on earth is going on? Why is my... Why is my water just gone weird? Mind you, I've been restarting the game several times, so I'm assuming it's just bored. Let's see, what? What is going on? Is my game just bugged? I found a bug. Oh, I know what it's done. Right, hang on. The game does this thing occasionally, and it tends to be shouty at box. That'll probably be what caused the issue before. TS has this horrible issue where when you jumping in and out of scenarios multiple times, especially in the world builder and putting things down and playing around like that, It really doesn't like it, and I've had it several times, especially taking all my screenshots and stuff like that recently, is where the keyboard just stops working. And there's one particular bug where if you do this like 15 or some odd times on the box, it just breaks it. It's just the game. There's absolutely, we've tried replicating it, and it's just odd. So we'll put that down to the game being the game, and it just means we rerun that bit of the scenario again. And win-win. See, it was almost like, I don't know, we didn't restart. We'll see actually, because there was a little bit of a bug coming out of the this bit here, wasn't there? Really? Yeah, the track's definitely set. Fingers crossed. No, there's something wrong with that. Okay. Do you want to make a note of that, Boo? Do you mean? We'll do a bit more bug testing with that. That's never popped up before. Might be because there's like a join. We'll look into that. It might just be me then. Might just be mine. Like you said, no speed limits. Means I'm free to go as quickly as I want. That's how the 1800s said it, wasn't it? Speed is but a limit in the man's mind. It's been a while since I've done an end-to-end on Salisbury, actually. Ah, 2025. I was going to keep it in that ballpark. This thing will only do like 35 anyway, so... Eh. Figuratively speaking. Make it 250. That's called a very steep hill. Feels like only yesterday we were working on these. Should have marked one with the box once, it looks so wrong. Well, I took 2 Queen Marys up the S&D with a box. And got stuck halfway up a 1 in 50. Never done it since. Who'd have thought? They are incredibly diddy though, aren't they? When you pair it with other like normal rolling stock like Queen Marys or Freights or box fans or, like you said, Mark 1s. Look incredibly small. ill-proportioned in certain ways. A little bit of braking. I mean, even when you put the Y6 up with a Mark 1, it looks very bizarre. It's just those types of locos which are just a bit odd. Gently does it. In the words of Ian Rice, crude. Oh, there's another one there. I think there's an issue with points in general. I have to just double check that, make sure. It might be because there was some updates on my end. We should need to double check that. If anyone has, see, that's a bit of an extreme on that one. If anybody is seeing any of these issues, please do let us know. So it looks like there's a break. Looks like there is a break in the track. I'll come back to that. I did 2 TS locals sometimes jump around when stationary, by the way. That's bothered me. Some locals. It's a very good question. People are still trying to work it out. It's just the game. To be honest, there's also bugs that come and go. I think they're so inconsistent. It's very hard to deviate between whether it's a bug with the DLC or whether it's like a core thing. But considering it's kind of come and gone as a bug for so long, it's just easier to accept that it's like a part of the road with the game. Unusual, I know, but don't beat the dragon. Hi. It's a very unusual name. BBTD. Reason game is all balls and broken. Well, you know, it's not often you can name a... What's the math on this? An 18-year-old game and still have it functioning. You know, there's a long story behind. I'm assuming that in response to the name, but we'll run with it. Oh, trundling up here quite nicely. Function is strong, but it's done well, but it is balked as hell in some areas. What would you say is an area that's balked? Because it's quite interesting having read through the developer documents that have since been removed. A large proportion of each section had elements on the bottom which were just completely unimplemented. There was some... oh, it's racking my brain now. There were some things in the firebox parts of the simulation where... I can't remember the function, but there was elements of what was planned, but was just never implemented. So there's I would say there's areas for improvement, but I wouldn't say it's balked. Nice trundle. The constant out-of-memory crashes, despite the fact that my PC far exceeds the game specs, is the main thing. Absolutely not something that I should get error results. True. Yes and no. So this game was built in a time where sort of like multi-threading wasn't a thing. So say your CPU has multiple cores for multitasking and addressing and attacking the speeds of processes much more efficiently. That's a standard now. This game was built in an era where the CPUs weren't really doing that. Back when this was built, it kind of had a dual core, and that was about it. Now you're on like bloody 18 cores or whatever it be, you know. So as you divide your CPU cores up, you know, incrementally they get smaller. You can manage far more smaller chunks of data in quantity than you can do in big chunks of data in a smaller quantity. That's like the process of what your CPU does. So when you transition that into this new CPU with an old game, this game hasn't been designed for that many cores. So basically what TS does is it only runs off one core of your CPU. So if you have a CPU with multiple cores, the more cores you have, the smaller they're going to be at what they handle their workloads. So yeah, it will run out of memory. From what we know, there is a small team still working on TSC over at Dovetail, and multi-core threading is a thing that they're trying to implement. If they do that, that'll just be an absolute game changer. Your FPS will be up through the roof. You know, you'll start seeing a lot of things. I mean, it's only semi-recently that we started seeing the 64-bit version come through, where there wasn't that 32GB cap on memory. Just it's one of them. You can start implementing like longevity into it, but don't run out the horse. What type of train is this? This is a Nielsen box tank. It's an 040 1860s industrial tank engine that we put out Ooh, gosh. It was about 2 years ago now this release, isn't it, Boo? But with the store release this afternoon, we brought it back from the ether, and we launched it today with the 7F Salisbury Queen Mary. I don't think it was last February. It can't have been last February. Or is it a case of it's 2 years in February coming up? That might be. We're going over the bridge. We're going over the bridge. What are the stats on this trail? The thing that I really like about this Loco is it's quite difficult. So because you know this is coming from a period where there are no controls such as a blower. You only had one injector. There wasn't really a gauge glass. You had your you had the, I forgot the technical term, but their appropriate control name rather, the sight taps, and basically the way you drive this is entirely down to the skill of the driver. So what the stats on this train are how good you are as a driver. So there are two different variants. We have the higher PSI ones, which we're driving now, 219s I believe, and they're at 90 PSI. Oh no, sorry, we're on the 60 PSI one, and there are 209s that are 90 PSI. You'll probably get about 30, 32, 35 miles an hour out of these. But because they haven't got a blower, your steam generation rates are really dependent on the way that you drive the Loco, because you've got to drive it with drafting in mind. It's like you only have a handbrake as well, rather than a train brake control. So it's good to try and keep the regulator open to keep drafting, because if you, it's harder to build pressure. So it's a bit of fun. Got to go. All right, no worries. Catch you later. SalisburyTramway.com.uk. It's not what it says, but it's fine. Whoa, 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 whoa. Steady now. I can't really remember how long this route is. We're 45 minutes end to end. Ah, okay. Is that taking into account like a colliery or the mine rather? Or is that just Waddleston to harbour? Okay, stop at Waddleston. Gotcha. Probably got a bit too quick, but... yeah, it'll be fine. Steady. Yeah, I see you judging me. Oh, it's not. It's for some reason I thought it was £150 then. I completely lost track. Yeah, it's doing it at that point as well. It might be just something wrong with the point, so I have to double check it. You're missing the word look. That's fine. Some things always creep through the net. That's what we deal with. Excuse me. Slow it down a little bit. Went a bit too quick there. Gosh, I forgot how long this cutting section was. Oops, done that thing again where I've not paid attention. It's just over 1. Keep looking at it zoomed. And I think it's just basically a climb straight up to Waddleston here, isn't it? It's quite a grueling 1 in 50. We can do 1 in 50. Easy peasy. There she goes. Dreaded 1 in 50. Bet you I can get up there with no issue. Got a bit of tunnel, but they thought it too pricey. Well, of course it did. We overshot a little, but it's fine. Come on, let's check this 1 in 50 then. It's quite stable. Seems quite happy to do it. Oh, okay, I see what it is. Fishing for excuses. Because I've got the third back on the third clutch on the back. Oh, okay. meant to say I'm just a driver. That's what you meant to say. Too good. He did say, well, yeah, I did. Look at me go. Wee. Is a stone wall. Hi. Feels so great to be like clunky and industrial. That's fun. Seven acquired. Oh, cheers. Thank you very much. Oop. Yeah, there's kind of those weird little jolts everywhere. I don't know. I have no idea what's caused that. Give these cows something to look at. Park up here. See? There we go. Think transfer enough. I think that's a good place to call it. Yeah. What are we on now? 3 hours 10 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. Had a bit of fun showing it off anyway. So the store link is in the description. So if you feel like I'm just going to run the cab because that cow is going to do my nutting. Yeah, so the store link is in the description, so if you feel like having a gander, just go and have a look. Yeah. That one there, yeah. Go Gets, yeah. Go Gets everything. Why not? Why not? Why not? Yeah, let's call it that. Probably do more. Probably do more. Not this week. I'm probably gonna have a bit of a break for a couple of days, and we'll tune in a couple of days' time and get some streams scheduled and whatnot. Have a bit more fun. We can make some more silly scenarios like that. Just have a bit of a, drive around with them and stuff like that. But, yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, go click on the the link in the description, or the link that Jimmy's put in there. Go to the store, have a gander. If there's any issues, there is a support email on the Facebook info, or you can direct message on the Facebook page. Anything like that, just keep us up to date with any anything that you've spotted or anything like that. But yeah, we'll call it that. All right, ta-ra.